pocket, dropped the ball right in his hands. Lorenzo Lynch on the coverage.
Well, Lorenzo Lynch was right there, the defensive safety. I don't think you're gonna see a better played defense. Randy Williams, I don't think would have gone anywhere had he caught the football. What he does is he trots down the field. He's the underneath receiver. He's going to be underneath. Let the other two receivers clear out. There's Lorenzo Lynch making a nice lick on it. Asking Randy how his family is.
Randy Williams, who went to a physical therapist in the offseason, improved his speed from a 4.75 40 to 4.6. So there's a way to improve your speed. Go to a physical therapist. Third down and goal for the 20-yard line. Peterson in trouble, dumps it off. DeBispo, the ball took a bounce and went incomplete. Dwayne Jackson in Peterson's face. And they'll have to try for another field goal. This one will go from about 37 yards.
Well, the pressure-type defense that Sac State plays so well, they've been successful all season. All the Chicago Bears, they just bring everybody. They're going to make mistakes, make you make mistakes. And again, that's the high-pressure defense has paid off for him.
Loretto missed his last attempt from 41, came up just short. This one from 37. Delgado is the holder. And the left footer's kick. Will it make it? Yes, it will. Just barely. A sliding field goal. The score, the UC Davis Aggies 10 and the Sac State Hornets 7. .805 left to play before halftime. The Aggies with a 10-7 lead, and penalties have really hurt the Aggies when they get the ball down near the end zone. A couple of 15-yard penalties cost them points. And the Hornets are in this ball game. Dan Hubert set to kick off to James Ferguson and Orlando Mays. And it will be Mays at the 10-yard line. He's to the 20, fumbles the football. Who's got it? It looks like the Hornets are on top of it. We'll check it out. Yes, they are. The Hornets recover that fumble by Mays on a really vicious hit by the Aggies.
Taken by Mays, fumble recovered by
Nick Galvez made the recovery.
Well, here you see it here. He gets a good lick from the side right there by number 62, and this is a good athletic move on Sac State's part to come up with this fumble.
Dave Tischer is the man who made the hit. A backup linebacker.
Boom, right there. Boy, those special teams coaches absolutely love to see that.
1st and 10. Hornets trail by 3 at 10-7. Play action. They're going deep. Incomplete pass. Intended for the backup tight end, Walter Evans, in the ball game for just the second time. It was right in his hands, and he dropped it.
Walter Evans is going to see that for a while, too, I'll tell you. I think he thinks he should have caught this ball. I don't know if it's tipped. Maybe we can pick it out here. Play action, fake out of the eye. And this is a nice throw. Greg Knapp lays this ball out there. No, that ball just dropped. Those are the kind you got to catch.
So 2nd down and 10 after the drop pass by Evans. Inside handoff. It will go to Hare. Dangerous. Twisting and turning his way for another Hornet first down across the 30 to the 32-yard line. Well, the Davis coaches were worried about Hare. He gives the Hornets a new dimension. Look at this.
This little trap block, and now you're going to see the leg strength of a guy that's only 5'9", 175, and he carries a couple of defenders for a good 5 yards extra.
And we've got a man down on the field as you take a look at Donald Hare. We're trying to pick up his number. I believe that is Weir. Larry Weir, the very fine free safety. And he's one of the main men in the Aggie defensive attack. Maybe their best player on defense.
Well, he started all year last year as a freshman, and they felt had one of the better futures here at UC Davis. We'll see if we can pick up the injury here. You see the trap block. The guard pulls around, blocks up the middle. Donald Hare breaks 2 tackles on the line of scrimmage, and then he starts carrying people. Now Hare's right there, number 20. It looks like he just gets his leg fallen on.
I think Adam Henderson may have hit him.
His own
teammate, because they're taking a look at his knee, and you saw maybe that occurred. Now Weir's going to walk off under his own power, and that's good to see. Donald Hare in the ball game, 4 carries for 101 yards.
Get the handheld ready. We might have to give it to Hogue. He can wear his headset, but get it ready. We might have to give it to him. Don't give it to him.
7:46 left to play here in the second quarter. 10-7 lead for the Aggies. The Hornets with the football, 1st and 10. Deuce backfield behind Greg Knapp. Inside it will go. And Donald Hare up to the 35-yard line.
Fumbles are going to become more and more critical as this game goes on. We get more and more rain. The ball's going to get a little slicker. Of course, they rotate the balls in and out. They dry the balls on the sidelines. They bring them out. They try and keep them covered. The officials keep them covered as long as possible. But as the uniforms get a little more muddy, that ball becomes slicker and slicker. And as a defensive player, you're taught to go after the football as the game goes on, because that ball does get harder to hang on to.
Hare in the slot to the near side. Harrison the only back. Knapp over the middle. Incomplete pass intended for Sanders.
Knapp intended for Sanders, incomplete.
You see here, Sanders split out just a little bit. He's a tight end, split out just a little down and in. And number 41, Dan McGinnis, made a nice play there just to strip the ball away. Got his hand in there and knocked that ball away.
Okay, Hogue is going to the handheld mic.
Okay. Brings up third down and 7 now. Sac State, their own 36-yard line.
3rd down and 7 play. Deuce backfield behind Greg Knapp. Here comes Wise. Pass intended for Harrison over the middle. The fullback coming out of the backfield, but Knapp, no doubt, bothered by the presence of the 6'7" Mike Wise. Definitely a pro prospect on that Aggie defense.
The big number 90 that time pressured Greg Knapp to the extent where he had to hurry his throw a little bit, made it low to Rob Harrison going across the middle. You're going to see it here. Now you're going to see Chris Wise come into your picture. Now this guy's bigger than Mount St. Helens. He comes across the middle, and you see how that ball was low to Rob Harrison. Couldn't make the catch. Consequently, we have a 4th down, 7 yards to go.
De Silva, the punter. Armin Anderson back deep, always dangerous as a return man. Good punt by De Silva. Here's Anderson at the 27. Can't break the tackle this time. Brought down by Ken Wilkerson. Good tackle, and so the Aggies will start 1st and 10 from their own 31-yard line.
Well, Kenny Wilkerson made a nice play that time, special teams play. Running down the field, got in, and Armin Anderson made a nice tackle.
And there's Weir right there. They're working on him, so obviously, even though he came off under his own power, he's not feeling real good.
Looking at that right knee.
6:38 left to play before halftime. The Aggies with a 10-7 lead on a wet field at Hughes Stadium. Brian Carter trying to bounce outside, and Louis Sorrentino's got him, the big play senior.
Well, Louis Sorrentino, the big play guy. I mean, they have had nothing but praise for this guy. You're going to see him at the top of your screen, break through 2 tackles here. Right there, big number 73, works his way down onto the legs. And he has had 10 great games. I'll tell you, the coaches have been so impressed with the guy that he's been the leader of that defensive line this year. Really the defensive leader of the whole unit.
Bob Maddow said he could have been Defensive Player of the Week every single week. That's how well he's played. 2nd down, 13. Play action. Peterson will roll. Great catch by Bispo across the 35 to the 36-yard line.
Complete to Bispo.
Not enough for a 1st down. It'll be about 5 yards shy. Gain of about 7 on the play. Greg Dockweiler making the tackle.
Okay, the backs go one way. Bisbo slides through, gets out here in the open, in the flat, trying to get a linebacker on him. Makes a real nice catch. They are able to pick up about 7-8 yards. It's a fine catch for fullback. They're not known to catch the football, but again, a la Roger Craig, there's some pretty good ones around that are doing it.
Well, football has really changed here in the last few years. I mean, it's unbelievable. Almost unheard of to throw to your fullback. Ford in motion. 3rd and 5 play. Dump it over to Williams. He's got the first down. He's up near midfield. He fumbles the football, and he jumps on it himself. So Randy Williams with the first down reception. And then he recovered his own fumble after being hit by Mark Albert.
Well, you're going to see here, you got a man in motion, goes across the backfield, then slides underneath the defense. Now, he's shorter than the linebackers. Short meaning not in stature, but underneath as far as the depth down the field. Comes across and was able to recover his own fumble for a first down.
Well, they call those Aggie receivers the Smurfs.
The Smurfs.
Because they are little.
He's 5'9". He might be one of the bigger ones.
1st and 10 for the Aggies, near midfield at their own 49-yard line. They send Tarr in motion. And a great hit put on by Greg Dockweiler on Bryant Carter.
What a play Dockweiler made here. I hope we have this on replay. Big number 67 is playing in the middle. You're going to see him follow the pull of the guard. You see those pulling linemen there. Now, big Dockweiler works his way, stiff arms one guy, goes right down the line, shows great speed, and gets in on the tackle. That's a fine defensive football play.
We're down to 4 minutes and 10 seconds to play before halftime. 2nd down, 11. Strong side is to the near side here. They send Delgado in motion the other way. Peterson straight drop back. There's Williams again, same play. And there's Albert who wrestles him down very close to the first down marker. Same play we saw a couple of plays ago, Skip.
That's one of those plays where they'll go in at halftime now and they'll try and make an adjustment to shut this off. This is the exact same play they just got their first down on earlier. You see Randy Williams coming across right here, catches the football in front of the linebackers. Now, hopefully, he's going to break that tackle right there. 2 times, 2 out of 2, he hasn't made it, but 2 out of 2 times he's gotten the first down. Excuse me, he hasn't gotten the first down yet. They're going to measure for it.
Looks like it's going to be about 2 inches shy.
Short of the first down.
Just a couple inches shy from the first down. And we just have a note passed along to us that Larry Weir will go to the locker room for an examination on his knee. He may or may not be back in the second half.
Hopefully we don't have a serious problem with Mr. Weir. That's unfortunate. That's one of those things that happens in football, but they were looking at his right knee, and hopefully that we might have just a maybe minor sprain or strain.
See Jim Soker there. He's a little bit damp on the sidelines, isn't he? 3rd down, inches. Expect something straight ahead, and you'll get it from Peterson. And we've got flags down.
Flags on the field.
Could be movement either way, or we'll just have to wait and see and sort it all out with 3:30 left to play here in the first half. Offside against the Hornets. So I would imagine that the Aggies will accept the penalty and get 5 yards further downfield. There's Soker, who sends in all the plays on offense.
Defense, first down.
So mark the football now down at the 36-yard line of the Hornets. 1st and 10 Aggies.
Well, this is the play that Larry Weir, number 20, gets hurt on. And you're going to see it right here as somebody slides under from the outside, and I think just caught his knee.
Back to live action. Peterson scrambling around in the mud. Peterson wants to go deep. Did he complete the pass to Mandeville? Yes, he did. At the 20-yard line. Peterson showing his athletic ability, and Mandeville showing his as well.
Well, the Sac State coaches were just worried as heck they could be all week. They were worried about this guy right here because of this. The Fran Tarkenton scramble around, find an open guy, and here it is. And it's a big Chris Mandeville laying on the ground making a nice reception.
Wow, what a great game that Chris Mandeville has had. 8 receptions, 98 yards, and he didn't get credit for one that he should have had in the end zone. 10-7 Aggies lead. 1st and 10, right at the 20-yard line. Peterson wants to throw. There's that play again to Williams, coming across the field, down to the 7-yard line. Greg Dockweiler making the stop on Randy Williams.
I'm not sure where this play is coming from, how Randy Williams is getting so open. It's very difficult from here to see it, of why he's coming free, but there he makes a nice move to get inside the safety man and dives to about the 7-yard line. Here you see it again. Chris Peterson is going nowhere but to Randy Williams right here. This play is designed for him.
I think he's coming from the strong side to the weak side and catches the Hornets with one man in the wrong position. That's Anberg in motion. Bootleg to this side. Peterson with an open field. He's going to try to run it in himself. He's out of bounds at about the 2-yard line, maybe the 1. Robert Holland pushed him out of bounds inside the 2-yard line.
Critical penalties down here have hurt Cal Davis the first 2 times they've been inside the 10-yard line. And at this point, they cannot afford any more penalties down there. They're on the 2-yard line, 2nd down and goal. And again, it's Peterson's athletic ability that's gotten him down there.
Peterson had a man to throw to as well. He could have thrown for a touchdown, tried to run it in, forced out at about, well, just shy of the 1-yard line. 2nd down and goal. Inside, it will go to Bill Tarr. Touchdown, the big fullback. Bill Tarr punches it in from there, and the Aggies now with the lead.
They don't ask the fullback to carry the ball very often, but when they do, it's just straight power football, man-on-man, straight-ahead wedge blocking, and running to the end zone. Here you'll see it from the end zone, coming right at you. Nothing fancy, power football. Give the ball to the fullback on a straight handoff, let him run up inside.
So Eddie Loretto in there to try the extra point. It is good. And the score with 2:06 left to play before halftime, the Aggies lead the Hornets 17-7. And Jim Soker is happy.
Well, they've jumped out in front of everybody all year. That's what they like to do. They play best when they're ahead. Sacramento State, on the other hand, they want to stay behind. They have stayed in this game. Their defense has played well.
Give credit to that Davis offensive line that includes Ron Costa, Doug Wagner, Bob Hagnow, Frank DeLeo, and Sean Merlin. 17-7 is your score. But remember, because you got Donald Hare in the ball game, anything can happen.
As we have seen. Anything can happen is right. It's funny, Bob Mattis said he felt he had the best team he's ever had at Sac State. And he said it's unfortunate, but he said he also thinks that this Davis team is one of the best he's ever seen. So it's a good matchup. We got a good ball game.
I asked Jim Soker that question, whether this was his best team, and he said, well, I'd have to give that nod to my 1982 team, the one that went all the way to the national championship and lost there. Schubert will kick off, and he slips, and the ball is taken at the 20-yard line and returned to the 35-yard line. And there's a fumble, and let's just see who has the football now. Hornet football. Even though an Aggie came up with it.
Well, a fumble cannot be caused by a ball carrier hitting the ground. I think that's what the call was there. They feel he was down when he fumbled the football.
Larry Hebel was the ball carrier, and Milton Wallace was the man who came up with it, but it will be Hornet football at the 36-yard line. 11-play, 70-yard drive. Bill Tarr over from 1 yard out. That was the drive for the Davis Aggies to give them a 17-7 lead. 1st and 10 Hornets. Greg Knapp is the quarterback. Donald Hare is your running back. Donald Hare very close to a 1st down. Hare over the century mark in this ball game, and what an average he has.
This is the first opportunity we're going to see a trap block, meaning one of the linemen pulled behind the center and trapped in the center.
Back to live action. Knapp wanting to go deep to Ferguson. Great catch by Ferguson at the 22-yard line. The Hornets in their 2-minute drill, and they're going to run these plays quickly, so we're not going to have a chance to see every single one on replay.
Here you see it, Ferguson on a post pattern. goes down 25 yards, cuts to the post, and what a great catch this is. Great concentration.
Quickly back to live action. The Hornets running their 2-minute drill. Knapp throws the pass out of bounds intended for Lynn Klinkhammer. That'll stop the clock with 1:30 left before halftime. The Hornets trying to get on the board again.
What's critical here is for Sac State to get 3 out of this. Get at least 3. Go to the halftime only 7 points down as opposed to 10. They'd love to have a touchdown here, but they'll settle for 3. They've got to get themselves back on the board, get closer, stay closer, and they'll be in this football game.
Remember, they still got 2 of their timeouts left. They exhausted 1 on defense. Harrison and Hare are the running backs behind Knapp. 2nd down 10. Aggies coming on the blitz. Pass to Ferguson. Touchdown, Hornets!
Well, turnabout is fair play. And Ferguson comes up with another great catch. A one-handed, reached up, tipped the ball to himself. Going from a post pattern to the bottom of your screen, going to the end zone. And an absolute tremendous catch by Ferguson. 2 great plays and a great throw by Greg Knapp, who was under pressure.
Greg Knapp with a man in his face hits Ferguson. Ferguson with Gary Woods all over him makes the touchdown reception. And here's De Silva trying to make it a 3-point game. There it is again. What a catch. Penalty markers on the extra point, which was no good, and we're going to have to sort it out again. Offsides against the defense, so the Aggies commit the penalty, and the Hornets, as you take a look at the kick, watch the Aggies come offside.
You really don't see anybody move, but what so often happens is they line up offside. They're trying to cheat up on the ball, the defense, trying to cheat up on the football and get there as much penetration as they can, and they're offside.
Offside, defense.
A really 2-minute drill, if you will.
Sac State getting on the scoreboard. Now the tables have turned. Davis would like to come back and maybe get three more out of that. With the fine field goal kicker they have, they could do just that.
And you know, it's interesting, but they went deep a couple of times, and they went deep with Larry Weir not in the ball game. So the fact that the Aggies didn't have Larry Weir seems to have made a difference, at least in the coverage for the Aggies. This kick splits the upright, and we've got a 3-point ball game, 17-14. A 4-play drive covering 64 yards.
Here you're going to see the touchdown. Now Ferguson's at the bottom of your screen. Knapp with a guy in his face lays it out there just like he has to. And look at that catch. That's two tremendous catches and 3 pass plays right there. Here you'll see it from the end zone. And again, with Ferguson in there, without Larry Weir, their normal safety man, is that the difference? I don't know. That's just one great catch. Not bad coverage either.
Wayne Rush was the man coming on the blitz, but he couldn't get there in time.
Gary Woods, I don't think was that far out of the play. I really don't. I think he made a nice defensive play there. You got to give credit where credit is due, and Ferguson just came up with a super catch right there.
1:24 left to play. Let's see if the Aggies go to their 2-minute drill. De Silva will kick off. Back deep now for the Aggies, Atkins and Anderson. And this is quite a surprise. Haven't had a game this close in this classic since the 80 and 81 games, finished up 16-6 and 21-13. Other than that, they've all been blowouts over the years for the Aggies. Taken by the up man. That's Tarr across the 30-yard line to the 31. Some of the wet fans in attendance.
Say they're not going anywhere. We've got a good football game. And you know, I'm amazed, Bob, by the poise shown by Greg Knapp as opposed to earlier in the year against UOP. You know, it was their first game of the season, so it's a little understandable. But he's just playing with much more confidence. I think he come off a few wins and a little more maturity, and it's just made all the difference in the world so far.
1st and 10 for the Aggies now. Peterson will roll. Being chased by Jackson. Peterson will run and run out of bounds at the 33-yard line, and we've got a flag down. We've got a flag down upfield at about the 42-yard line.
Well, we've got some wide receivers and defensive backs.
Personal foul against the Hornets. I think it's going to be called against one of their corners, Rod Owen, number 25. I don't think you'll be able to see it.
This is a design roll. He drops back, then he rolls out. You see number 98, Switch Gago, chasing his old teammate at Sac City. Chris Peterson gets him out near the sideline. We're not going to be able to see the penalty. Downfield, we had a little extracurricular activity going. Here you see Peterson rolling out. Now there's Randy Williams right there in your screen. He's covered, so Peterson tucks the ball away and runs it out of bounds. Stops the clock.
Just at the bottom part of your screen, you saw Owen putting a hit on one of the Aggie receivers, and that was the personal foul call. So 1st and 10. Drop play, fumble, and I believe the Aggies jumped on it, but we'll double check. Boy, Owen's right up there in the official's face. He's going to have to watch out. He's going to get another 15-yard penalty. Mark Ford just dropped that football on the draw play.
Yeah, a little draw now. This is off play action, and I don't think he received the handoff. The ball's rolling out of there. They never made a good contact as far as the handoff from quarterback to fullback.
Timeout charge to the UC Davis Aggies with 1:04 left, and the Aggies leading at 17-14. They've never trailed in the ball game.
Well, this is a good football game. High intensity. Both teams are getting after it. We end up with a few shoving matches down the field, which the officials are trying to control, but that's the way it goes. This is a contact sport, and they get out there and the guys get after each other.
Of course, a lot on the line. The Aggies didn't think they'd have anything on the line. They thought they'd receive a bid to host the first round of the Division II playoffs next week. They thought that they would receive that a few days ago. Instead, the NCAA decided not to send out the bids until later tonight or maybe tomorrow. So everything on the line this week for the Aggies.
Of course, Sac State, they have to win to stay in contention for a playoff berth.
And a win doesn't necessarily ensure them a playoff spot.
That's right.
Chris Peterson still trying to make sure that he had the right play. 2nd down and 13. Straight drop, roll to the far side. Flag is down, pass upfield to Williams, and he goes out of bounds at the 40-yard line, but I would imagine we're going to get a holding call here against the Aggies.
That's exactly right. I think Dwayne Jackson on the outside was held that time. As he blitzed, he had 2 blockers on him, one a back and one a lineman. And I think he was just kind of tackled out there. Allowed Chris Peterson to get to the outside.
Bob Matos, green and yellow.
Here you're going to see it. Chris Peterson now coming over to his right, to your left screen. There's Jackson getting up off the block, but I think he was half tackled there. Randy Williams coming back, catching the football, getting both feet back inbounds. What a great receiver. He reminds me so much of Freddie Bolitnikoff.
Offense, still 2nd down.
So that was shot block, yeah.
So indeed, being a holding call, a chop blocks where the back comes outside of the defender and cuts him below the waist, and that's an illegal block in college football.
2nd down, 24. 56 seconds left to play. Draw play. Bispo across the 35 to the 37-yard line. Angelo James making the tackle for the Hornets. But now maybe the Aggies try a little bit different strategy. Maybe they just run the clock out here.
Well, when you get that many yards to go, you don't want to do anything that'll turn the ball over and give the other team an opportunity to get some more points on the board. So
right, you don't want to give them a cheap field goal.
Turn a little conservative here and ran a draw play.
Clock ticking down now, under 25 seconds left to play. 3rd down, 21. Inside handoff to the fullback, and he's stacked up right there. And the Hornets all calling timeout. I think they want one try just to rush the punter. Timeout charge to the Hornets with 10 seconds left.
Well, earlier in the ball game, the Cal Davis punter dropped the football on the snap, and consequently shanked one out of bounds to give the Hornets good field position. And so possibly they're hoping for the same thing, either a drop ball or a block punt.
And so you've got Lindquist back there, and Hare will drop deep right now for the Sac State Hornets, who trail it by 3 points, 17-14. And the Hornets going to talk it over in the sidelines and decide what they want to do. You just got to come full speed, trying to go for the block and hope something happens.
Well, you put as much pressure as you can on the punter. He's not a guy that's used to handling the football. Not a guy that's used to handling the football under pressure. I don't care how many times you punt the ball a game. He's just not used to doing that. So you want to put as much pressure on him as you can. And who knows, it may affect him later in the ball game.
We talked with the Aggie coaches this past week, and they said if there was one problem area that they thought, it was in their punting game. Scott Lindquist beat out Roger Galliano, who had been somewhat inconsistent. And so now you have Lindquist in that position again. He fumbled the ball the last time. 10 seconds remain, 4th down and 21. The Hornets with 9 guys up there on the line. And Lindquist will get it off. And Donald Hare is back there. Let's see if he lets it roll. Well, it bounces the other way. And it's down at the 39-yard line, and that is the final play of the first half. And it has been a good one here from Webb Hughes Stadium. The score, the UC Davis Aggies leading the Sac State Hornets by a score of 17-14. And if you joined us late, the Aggies jumped out on top by a score of 7-0, had a chance to make it 14-0. But a controversial catch in the back of the end zone was disallowed, and just one play after that, you had a situation where Donald Hare goes 76 yards for a touchdown to make it a game at 7-7. Then the Aggies jump out on top 17-14, 17-7, I should say, and the Hornets come back on a great pass from Knapp to Ferguson, and they make it a ball game at 17-14.
For the start of the second half, the Sacramento State Hornets trailing by 14-17. 17 in favor of the Cal Aggies for the Causeway Classic. And here we go with the kickoff. UC Davis kicking off. The ball's fielded short, run out across the 28-yard line. We'll pick up some numbers here. Fielded by Larry Hebel, a defensive back who picked up the ball. Got it out to approximately the 28-yard line.
First down, Hornets.
Where it'll be first down, 10 yards to go. Greg Knapp, the quarterback, Sacramento State. Brings him to the line. Klinkhammer, flank left. Ferguson right. Rob Harrison, the fullback. Knapp back to throw on first down. Throws the ball down in center. The tight end, it looks enough to the first down out across the 40-yard line. Sanders, the tight end, who was a big factor the first half, as was the tight end Mandeville, Chris Mandeville for UC Davis. It'll bring up again a first down, enough for a first down. So Sacramento State has come out in a hurry here, trying to get back on the scoreboard and take the lead. Knapp over quarterback. Saunders, the tight end on the right, turns, gives the ball to Harrison. He's to the outside. He's across the 50, the 45, the 40. He's out of bounds at about the 34-yard line. Knocked out of bounds on the far side of the field by Adam Henderson, the right linebacker. And the Sacramento State Hornets have come out breathing fire the second half. Nothing fancy there. You'll see it here. Harrison, this is why Harrison was the tailback. He's got the good speed to get to the outside. And except for one man, we might have had a change in the lead there. Rob Harrison, 6'2", 220-pound fullback.
Believe it or not, I am finally back after all the microphone problems that we have had here and hearing everything. We start out the second half. Sac State with the football. They trail at 17-14. The pitch will go to Donald Hare around the 35-yard line down to about the 33-yard line with 14-16 left to play here in the third quarter. Adam Henderson and Dan McGinnis knock him out of bounds. Skip, thank you very much for coming to my rescue.
That's all right. This rain has done
really has
havoc with everything we've got here. We've got cameras out and our audio's out and everything else. So if you folks can bear with us a little bit.
Okay, I think we have all the technical difficulties out of the way. And it is a 2nd down and 8 situation. Harrison and Hare in the backfield behind Knapp. Walter Evans in the slot to the near side. Pass is complete to Hare. What a catch he made. What a catch by Donald Hare. And believe it or not, he's mad at himself for not going all the way. How did he catch that football?
What tremendous reaction. Watch Greg Knapp. He gets a blitz up the middle. He's got 2 defenders in his face. Lobs the ball out there, just hoping to get rid of it. Donald Hare barely turns around. The ball hits him right in the hands. He catches the ball, then he's stripped up. Watch this. Here's Knapp. He sees the blitz coming. He's just trying to get rid of it. Donald Hare turns around. The ball hits him right in the hands. 2 fine athletic moves right there on two good athletes.
1st and 10 now for Sac State at the 16-yard line. I formation. Handoff will go to Hare. Hare breaking 1 tackle, but that's about it as it goes across the 15 down to the 14-yard line. And we might mention that Larry Weir has torn ligaments in his knee, will not play the rest of the game. And so you've got backups in there. Denny Raymond has replaced him at the free safety spot. Adam Henderson combined with other Aggies to make the stop, and the Hornets with a chance to go on top.
Well, very evident here that the Hornets are coming out throwing the football, getting the ball to Donald Hare, which they've done all year, trying to get in this thing. 2nd
down and 8. Lone setback is Harrison. The handoff will go to him. He'll try it to this side. Harrison still on his feet. Touchdown! And the Hornets have taken the lead in the Causeway Classic. This crowd is going wild.
Well, here you're going to see the power of Rob Harrison. A converted tailback to fullback. This is the type of running this guy can do. Taking over for Mark Schutz, their #1 rusher last year. Here he goes to the outside, showing his tailback. Now he becomes a fullback. Bam! Hits a couple of people. Boom! A couple more. He's still not down. Waltz is in the end zone. That's a great run.
And so De Silva in to attempt the extra point. His kick is perfect. And how about this? Sacramento State, the Hornets, lead the top-ranked UC Davis Aggies 21-17. KCRA's live coverage of the Causeway Classic will continue. (21-17) is your score. How about this? Sacramento State on top of top-ranked UC Davis. A 6-play, 69-yard drive, and it's Rob Harrison going over from 14 yards out. Dave De Silva now will kick off for the Hornets. Enjoying a lead, maybe for one of the few times in a 15-year reign of losses. Armin Anderson and Wayne Atkins back deep. And the kick will get to Atkins at the 8-yard line. He's across the 20 to the 25, cuts back, and he's hammered down by the Hornets right there. Johnny Williams and Robert Holland combined to make the stop. So it'll be 1st and 10 Aggies, their first possession here in the second half. And again, their starting backfield will include Chris Peterson, Mark Ford, and Frank Vispo. Rob Delgado is the flanker to the near side. Randy Williams sets up as an end on the far side. Peterson will throw on 1st down. He's rolling this way. Flips it out to Vispo across the 30. Vispo to the 35-yard line, shy of the 1st down, where he's pushed out of bounds by Mike Marengo and Lorenzo Lynch.
What a fine receiver this Vispo has been out of the backfield. The fullback. These are design rollouts, design plays to take advantage of Chris Peterson. His ability to throw on the move and his speed and getting away from the rush.
2nd down and 1. 12-16 left to play here in the third quarter. And the UC Davis Aggies with the football, where their white jerseys no longer white in this muddy field of Hughes Stadium. And this is Mark Ford across the 35, but probably no gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 1. The Aggies have really not been able to run.
No, that's right, Bob. That's just what I was going to remark about. That they've virtually taken the running game away from the Aggies so far today, except for a couple of those counter plays early in the ball game.
We have an injured player down at about the 33-yard line, but we cannot see who it is. Number 25, we are told, for the Sac State Hornets, and that is Rod Owen. He has been involved in a couple of plays. And Rod Owen is down at the 33-yard line, and they're administering to him at this point. Already one player lost to injury in this game, the fine free safety for the Aggies. That is Larry Weir. So Weir out for the game and probably for the rest of the season if the Aggies were to continue on in the playoffs. But first, they have to defeat the Sacramento State Hornets, and they trail 21-17.
Here are the defensive coaches of Sacramento State, Gary Quattrin, defensive coordinator Mike Clemens there in the hat. Well, you got to be happy the way the things have gone for their defense today.
3rd and short, less than a yard. Anberg in motion. Pitch will go back to Ford. Tries to go underneath, and I think the Hornets have stopped him. Yes, he will be shy. In fact, he lost a little bit of yardage. Dockweiler is there. Sorrentino is there. And the Hornets are spelling upset, but a long way to go in this one. 4th down and a yard. Donald Hare and Robert Holland drop back. Punt by Lindquist is a short one. And it'll be chased down and down by the Aggies at the 35-yard line. And almost another fight breaks out. No love lost between these two teams. The Hornets lead the Aggies 21-17. Back with more coverage of the Causeway Classic right after this. 11 minutes, 2 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter. The Hornets have the football. They scored their last time. They get the ball after a 30-yard punt. Lindquist averaging just 21 yards a punt in 3 tries. Pass over to Klinghammer. He fumbles the football. Do the Aggies have it? Let's check it out. Yes, they do. Klinghammer with the reception on a short post pattern. Took a couple of steps. He was hammered and he fumbled.
Well, Lynn Klinghammer, this is an audible. Greg Knapp audibles to this. Calls the play at the line of scrimmage. Klinghammer spread left. Came a little quick, short, down and in. You're going to see it here. Now Knapp hits him right on the money. This is a good call. He hits him in front of the defender here, but now Klinghammer fumbles the ball after being hit. Recovery made by number 24. UC Davis going the other way. Brad Barton in on the recovery.
So the Aggies now with the football in Hornet territory at the 48-yard line. Big play in this one. Peterson rolling. He's got Mandeville, and Mandeville drops it. Boy, you know that the field conditions are just terrible. You see back-to-back drops on 2 successive plays.
Well, again, as the jerseys get wet and slippery and sloppy with mud, you're going to see more and more balls trapped. They're going to have to go to catching the ball out with their hands out in front of them. They can't trap it against their body anymore.
And Mandeville comes back to the huddle limping on the play. That could be a factor. What a ball game he had in the first half. 8 receptions. And Mandeville just 3 shy of the 1-game reception record for the UC Davis Aggies. That's the 11th. Anberg in motion. Peterson will throw it 2nd and 10. Chased out of the pocket. Dumps it off to Anberg. Anberg very near the first down. Wayne Jackson has it. Across the 40, down to about the 39. They'll be just shy of the first down marker. It'll be 3rd down at about a foot.
Call it good coaching or call it great athletic ability. Chris Peterson has a real good ability to find people, find them out in the open. Here he sees his tight end. Now, that might have been a safety valve. It might be just designed that way. He just does a great job of getting the ball and getting it to him for a long game.
Peterson, 19 of 26 in this ball game. There have been a couple of drop passes as well. 3rd and short. Peterson will roll. Look at this. He's got Mike Wessel wide open for a first down inside the 15-yard line down to the 13. And the Aggie coaches right next to us near the booth going absolutely wild. We could hear them screaming and yelling.
Well, you're going to see here, this is either a missed assignment. You see number 81, the tight end Wessel's come out of there. Nobody on him, absolutely nobody. Now, if Peterson could have led him, that would have been a touchdown. But I'll tell you, it's either a great fake, you're going to see it here, this is a great fake, which it isn't, or just a missed assignment on defense. Somebody missed an assignment.
Absolutely, and Robert Holland chases him down. 21-17 is your score in a great football game. Sac State leading UC Davis. First and 10, Aggies at the 13-yard line. Anberg in motion. Peterson will throw. Anberger's out there, but Peterson's in trouble. Now Peterson inside the 10, knocked out of bounds at the 7. What great speed that Peterson showed, getting inside the 10 down to the 7, so he gained about 6. It'll be 2nd and 4.
And I think he showed great confidence there in putting the ball away. Don't take a chance on a ball. Don't try and force it in anywhere in the end zone. Just get what you can.
Lorenzo Lynch knocked him out of bounds. But I've seen Peterson win that battle of speed against some very fast cornerbacks. He just rolls out and just beats you to the corner of the end zone. I formation. Williams and Anberg split to the near side. 2nd down 4. And they go to the fullback. And Bispo may have lost a yard. Darren Arbette making a big hit on Bispo. Wow.
Might have been a loss on the play. Darren Arbette, number 84. You're going to see here on the pull, comes completely free right there. That's another missed assignment on the part of UC Davis. So tit for tat. UC Davis, this is an assignment, and they get a big loss.
How about this? They're going to take a timeout with 9:01 left to play in the 3rd quarter to talk it over with head coach Jim Soker. 3rd down and 6 call. And I think you've got to set up a call right now, Skip, where you give Chris Peterson the option to either pass or run because he's so dangerous. Or maybe that they can go to that Randy Williams play.
Well, you know, they have Chris Peterson's ability to run the ball. Down here so often you look for quarterback draw, something along those lines to get those linemen up the field and then let the quarterback run it back up the middle. However, Sacramento State does so much blitzing with their inside linebackers. They bring their inside linebackers, one of them or both of them, all the time, and that makes that play virtually impossible. I think you're going to see Peterson some form of play action, try and get his body outside of the defense. The wide side's to his left now, meaning he'll have to throw across his body. He wants to get out here to the left and try and find an open receiver or run it in himself. Remember, he can get a first down at the 3-yard line.
So the Aggies have talked it over. 3rd down. A little over 6 yards to go. First down is between the 3 and the 4-yard line. Split backfield behind Peterson. Big play. That's Anberg in motion. Peterson dumps it off. Touchdown Aggies. Mark Ford. No one covered him. And the Aggies are on top again.
Now this might have been something picked out of the films by the Cal Aggies. You're going to see Bispo. You're going to see a man in motion come from left to right. That overloads one side. And now we have nobody covering Mark Ford out there who runs the ball into the end zone. Absolutely nobody on defense. So when they blitz, the Cal Aggies might have picked up the idea that they have a weak side coverage. Nobody's there, and that's what happened.
So it's become a high-scoring battle now. And now the Aggies are on top. Loretto's kick is good. And so the Aggies with a 3-point lead, 24-21. KCRA's live coverage of the 1985 Causeway Classic will continue after these words. Left to play in the 3rd quarter. A rainy field, but it hasn't slowed down the offenses any. The UC Davis Aggies, ranked number 1 in the nation, lead the Sacramento State Hornets 24-21. Peterson, 21 of 28. He's thrown 8 to Mandeville for 99 yards and to Bispo for 45. And he threw that last one to Mark Ford. James Ferguson returns the kickoff back across the 20 to the 21-yard line. Brought down by Matt Devine.
Tackled by Devine, first down, Hornets.
Well, that Klinkhammer's fumble at the 50-yard line was a big key to UC Davis because their offense stalled out prior to that, and they had to punt, and then they got the ball right back, went in and scored. So becomes, again, a game of mistakes. Make the fewest, and you win the football game.
1st and 10 Hornets. They now trail it by 3. Just the fact that they're in the ball game makes this a story. Here's Rob Harrison, the fullback, going to the outside, fighting off tacklers, and he handed the ball off. Look at this. There goes Ferguson. He's gone. James Ferguson will score for the Hornets. Oh, my.
Well, the play's never over till you hear the whistle. And I sure as heck didn't see a whistle. I don't know what's going on, but it looks like the touchdown's going to stand up. Now, reverse pivot handoff to Harrison here. He goes to the outside. He gets tied up right here. He looks out here and sees Ferguson, flips him the ball, and adios. Well, a little offensive football here.
Boy, they must have borrowed that play from Joe Kapp's playbook. And the Aggie coaches are just beside themselves. They were furious. They felt that Harrison was down.
77 yards on a pitch from Harrison to Ferguson, and it's goodbye.
Unbelievable football game. Ferguson has 4.4 speed. I think he would have run for a touchdown if he had 5.4 speed on that one. It surprised everyone. The Hornets on top. Unbelievable football game. No good. De Silva's extra point is no good. It's wide to the left side. The score with 8:34 now left in the third quarter. The Hornets lead the Aggies 27 to 24.
Well, I tell you, I've seen some track meets before. This is slowly turning into another one. There's a lot of excitement in a short span of time. I'm telling you, this is unbelievable. These coaches here next to us, the UC Aggie coaches, they're right next door to us. These guys are on a peak one minute and then a valley the next. This is just unbelievable.
We hear them hooting and hollering, and the next time they're banging the table. All the Aggie coaches thought that the play should have been called dead. You could see them. They were running down the field. They were almost chasing Ferguson as fast as the players were.
Well, here you see it here. Now, the progress, hey, the play stops when the whistle blows. Now, he's still struggling forward, so they probably haven't stopped the play. This is a nice athletic move on Harrison's part.
Absolutely. I think it's absolutely the right call there. He was not even being pushed backwards that much as he was being pushed to the side. De Silva kicks off. Armin Anderson will take it to the 13-yard line. And here's Anderson bouncing out to the outside. Well, I think the wet jerseys make it tough to tackle, and that's becoming a factor.
Well, so many times the speed of everything, the defense is kind of a disadvantage. You're slowed down slightly because you don't know where that guy's going. You're a reaction football player. So what happens, you slow down, and because of the poor footing, you end up making a lot of diving tackles as opposed to keeping your feet and getting a hold of people.
27-24 ball game. The Hornets now on top, looking for a big upset. One play, 77-yard scoring drive, and it took them 22 seconds because they were trying to tackle Harrison, and then he pitched it back to Ferguson. Unbelievable. Peterson will throw on first down. He's in trouble. He'll try to scramble out of it. And he goes out of bounds at about the 38-yard line, a gain of at least 5 on the play. It'll be second down and a short 5.
You know, you judge a great back by his ability not only to break the big play, but to turn a 2-yard loss into a 2-yard gain. Chris Peterson that time is trapped in the backfield, turns a potential loss into a 6-yard gain. And that's the kind of plays that absolutely kill you as a defense. Now, he's straight drop back, got nowhere to go. Everybody well covered. He runs around. He's still looking. Then he takes off, gets 6 yards. That is so frustrating as a defensive football player.
Second down, short 5 for Peterson. Play action. Peterson rolling to the near side again. He's going to run. He's across the 40 to between the 37 and the 38-yard line. Not enough for a first down, however. Angelo James chased him out of bounds. You see the intensity in the face of Chris Peterson.
Well, the second leading rusher on the UC Davis team this year, and I don't think that's by design necessarily, but that's the way the young man operates, and he's been real successful at doing it.
Gained 374 yards on the ground and also passed for over 2,000 yards. So third down, a long one. And the Aggies find themselves in the unenviable position of trailing. They haven't done that in a long time. Peterson may scramble for the first down. He's got the first down. He's got more. He's up near midfield. He's knocked out of bounds. And Peterson's going to be a little bit slow to come up. And he gets hammered every time he goes out of bounds. This is a hard-hitting football game.
Yes, it is. It is getting more and more physical, too, as the game goes on. Peterson, thus far, has carried this team down the field. Again, look at this ability for this guy to get away from the rush, from the tacklers, and he gets the first down.
So first and 10 Aggies. The ball right on the midfield stripe. 8:05 left to play in the third quarter. The pitchback will go to Brian Carter. Carter cuts upfield across the 45 to the 43-yard line. Louis Sorrentino right.
Team of UC Davis, but I guarantee you the defenses of Sac State are going to get worn down if they continue to have to chase Chris Peterson all over this football field. He could be a real factor as far as being in condition and being in shape is concerned come the fourth quarter.
Second down and 4 now. Williams split to the near side. Delgado to the far side. Peterson rolling again. In trouble. He just throws the ball out of bounds. That was intended for no one. And Jim Soker, talking to the officials over there, thought Peterson suffered a late hit. Took his hat off, and he was really upset. Louis Sorrentino really racked him. Joe Hall helped out as well. Soker knows he's in a football game.
Yes, he does. He doesn't like what's happening here. And a three-point play. Has anybody investigated what happens if we get a tie here?
Well, they don't play overtime, but it probably helps the Aggies. I would say that it absolutely ensures a playoff position. Whether it ensures a host position, I do not know. It won't help Sac State at all. Third down 4. Williams. Boy, is he racked. Lorenzo Lynch. He read that play, that little play to Randy Williams when he comes from the strong side to the weak side.
Okay, here's how they made their dues early in the game. Dockweiler putting the pressure on now. Randy Williams ran this for 2 key first downs for Davis the first half, and I mentioned you got to go in at halftime and make it up. Well, they did, and there's the result. 4th down and 3.
Lindquist on 4th and 2. He's averaging only about 20 yards a punt with Don Hare back at the 11-yard line ready to receive. Not a good punt again. But it may drop dead inside the 5-yard line, and it will. Right at the 5-yard line. So the Hornets are pinned deep in their own territory with 6:31 left to play in the third quarter.
Well, that's a punt that is very questionable. You always want to teach your return people on a short punt like that to try and come up and fair catch the ball, or at least field the ball. Keep it from rolling down inside. But with these conditions, I cannot question Don Hare's decision to let that ball run in. And the rain continues to fall.
So Sac State football pinned back at their 5-yard line. 1st and 10. Greg Knapp wants to throw out of his own end zone. Klinkhammer drops the football. So the last 2 passes to Klinkhammer have ended up with a fumble and a drop. If you joined us late, there's been lots of scores. Davis jumped out on 7-0. Frank Bispo scoring. We take a look at this drop again. Sacramento State then scored when Donald Hare went 76 yards with it. Eddie Loretto kicked a field goal to make it 10-7. Then a 1-yard run up the middle gave Davis a 17-7 lead. Ferguson scored to make it 17-14, and now it's 27-24. Sacramento State. 2nd down and 10. dump it off. Intended for Rob Harrison.
Well, Sac State on 2 pass plays from deep in their own end zone. That's how much confidence they have in Greg Knapp's ability to read everything, get the ball out of there. They're not afraid to throw the ball down there. That time he overthrew Rob Harrison coming out of the backfield, just led him slightly, or they could have had a nice play there.
Knapp now 8 for 16, 140 yards unofficially. 3rd down and 10. They don't get the first down. They're going to give the Aggies good field position on the punt. Handoff will go to Hare, and boy, he's knocked backwards to the 3-yard line. Don Hare is knocked down right there, didn't even get to the line of scrimmage. Tim Lasik or Rick Dahm knock him over.
Well, here you're going to see Mr. Hare meet the defense at UC Davis. That's a nice look. That's the type of football that you like to see. Rob Rathman is the one who made the initial hit, I believe. But a host of Aggies there with him.
Hare, 9 carries, 117 yards. That's the first time he's lost any field position for them. And it'll be 4th down and 11, and De Silva has to watch out that he doesn't step on the end line and check everything to make sure that they have a dry football, I think. 5:41 left to play here in the 3rd quarter. Armin Anderson back at the 45-yard line. There's Armin with an NCAA record for punt returns. He never calls a fair catch. Out of Nevada Union High School. And they've changed footballs twice already. See if De Silva's got the one that he wants now. He wants a dry one, certainly. 4th down, 11. By De Silva. Anderson at the 45. Breaks one tackle, but he won't break the next one. He stopped at the 41-yard line. Randy Raines appropriately made the tackle at the 41-yard line. That's where the Aggies will start at 1st and 10. And they've been very effective throwing the football.
We have an awful lot of time left in this football game. 5 minutes, 24 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. But this is a critical series for Sac State, I feel. I think they're going to have to shut down Davis, who has excellent field position this time.
They start at the Hornet 41. Here's the handoff. It'll go to Mark Ford. Mark Ford across the 20. Mark Ford down to the 10, down to the 5. Bedlam in the booth next to us where the Davis Aggie coaches are. They're going wild for Mark Ford.
Well, a little sprint draw action. You see out of the I formation. Now, Chris Peterson's been rolling out this whole time, and Sac State has been looking for it all the time. He got 2 real good blocks here. Then Ford makes a nice run to break a couple of tackles, and there is a touchdown-saving tackle down to the 5-yard line.
By Mark Albert on a 36-yard run for Mark Ford. Great block by Doug Wagner to start that play.
That's exactly it.
1st and goal. Inside handoff. Bispo across the 5 down to the 4-yard line.
Seemed to be a mix-up in the Davis backfield that time. Somebody got started a little late, or somebody turned the wrong way. It was a little hard to tell. I think Bispo did a good job just to get a yard out of it.
So it'll be second and goal at the 4-yard line. Luis Sorrentino stopped that play. See if you have some sort of a pass run option now. 2nd and goal. Anberg in motion. And they'll run it with Ford. Ford cutting back. Ford down to the 2, down to the 1-yard line.
Ford the ball straight around the right tackle. Sorrentino on the stop.
Sorrentino made the stop again. Hey.
That's right, Bob. I was just going to say, you seem to call his name more and more. The guy is all over the place, as the coaches told us he has been all season long.
Jim Soker finds himself behind 27. 27-24 is your score. 3rd down and goal. Play action pass. Peterson is throwing. He's in trouble. Peterson to the back of the end zone. Almost caught by Anberg, but it slips through his finger. And let's see if the Aggies now go for a field goal attempt, or if they'll go for it 4th and goal at the 1-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you, that was very reminiscent of the Dallas Cowboys, San Francisco 49ers. Joe Montana on the run, throws one up, and the catch that almost was made. Anberg wants that one back. I think he thought he should have had that ball. Nice defensive play that time, Mark Albert.
And they're going to go for the field goal and tie this ball game up. As we said, a tie probably doesn't hurt the Aggies. Loretto. His kick is perfect. So an 18-yard field goal by Eddie Loretto, and we've got a tie ball game with 3:24 left to play in the 3rd quarter. It's all tied up at 27-27. I did not expect this much scoring from both clubs.
I don't think neither coach expected this kind of scoring out of both teams. But it's been crazy, I'll tell you. It's been up and down the field and very enjoyable to watch. I know I'm glad I'm not one of the defensive coaches. They're pulling her hair out right now.
Still 18 minutes of football left in this one. Donald Hare needs just 55 yards to break John Farley's all-time record at Sac State of 1,137 yards.
And only a freshman. How'd you like to have to look at number 26 for 3 more years as an opponent?
Yeah, single-season record by John Farley, and Don Hare has a chance to break it.
I think, credit has to be given, too, to those guys up front, Barone and Robinson, Gardner, Black, Giesing. As I know, and I think he'd be the first to tell you that all the difference in the world when having those guys out in front of you.
And here's Hare on the return, and he's tackled on the 24-yard line. So the Hornets will start 1st and 10 right there. Donald Hare played a lot of football here on muddy fields just like this one at Hughes Stadium. In fact, I think he broke the all-time record for touchdowns a year ago when it was a very, very muddy field on a 66-yard touchdown.
Bob Mattis told us that having been a real fan of Dick Bass, a great back at University Pacific, he said Donald Hare is very much the same way, built much heavier from the waist down, but just very unimposing. It just gets the job done.
1st and 10 Hornets. Handoff will go to Harrison. He'll cut back inside across the 25 up to about the 27-yard line. Gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8. Tim Saunders, a fine middle linebacker for the UC Davis Aggies, makes the tackle. Saunders has been bothered a little bit with a shoulder injury this season. 27-27 tie, and the fact that the Hornets missed an extra point is the telling factor as who has the lead in this one. Knapp under pressure was lucky to get rid of that football without an interception. Pass intended for Sanders, and the Aggies were coming really hard.
That's right, Bob. I think Greg Knapp just literally threw that ball away. They were running a crossing pattern between the tight end and the wide receiver, with the tight end going out, the wide receiver coming in, and the ball was intended for Sanders, and he felt that he was being held at the time.
Knapp 8 of 17. Last 3 passes have been incomplete for Greg Knapp. High formation. 3rd down and 8, passing down. And the ball is on the ground, and I believe the Hornets have it. Mike Wise coming really hard. He wrapped up Knapp. He didn't know that the ball was fumbled, but the Hornets recovered it. John Giesing, the right tackle, jumped on the football back at the 20-yard line.
Look at big number 90 right in the middle, runs by everybody. Now that's a man 6'7", 280, running by everybody. And there's the ball lying on the ground, and alert 75, who's that? Robinson gets back on the ball. Oh, Giesing, excuse me, John Giesing, number 75. Good job.
Just think if the Hornets had Mark Hicks, he'd have run for a touchdown.
That's right. Pick it up and run with it.
4th and 14. So De Silva will be punting it again. Very close to a block. Armin Anderson at the 45-yard line. Penalty marker down. Anderson finally is as he goes into Hornet territory at the 45-yard line. Penalty markers all over the place. Again, I think interference on Anderson's attempt to receive the football.
I would be extremely upset if I was a Sac State defender on this play. If they call
interference with the opportunity to catch the ball. Penalties decline. First down.
Like I said, I would be extremely upset if they called interference. I think you have to give the guy an opportunity. Now, tell me he doesn't have an opportunity there. I do not agree with that call at all.
Yeah, I would agree with you. In fact, the defender was actually...
came to a stop.
Yeah, he came to a stop and was backing off. You only have to give the man 1 yard. 1:44 left to play here in the third quarter. 27-27 tie. The Aggies with a good field position now. We've seen some wild plays in this football game. A lateral, Harrison to Ferguson, that went for a touchdown. Donald Hare going 76 yards. Chris Peterson scrambling all over the place.
I think the critical thing, Bob, the last 12 minutes of this game has been played on Sac State's side of the 50-yard line. They've got to change the field position, and it all started with the fumble at the 50.
First and 10 Aggies. The jersey's very muddy now. Play action. Peterson going to go deep to Delgado. He's got it at the 8-yard line. What a catch by Delgado inside the 10. It'll be first and goal Aggies from there. Robert Holland on the coverage, but a perfectly thrown ball by Peterson.
Well, Peterson lays this ball out. Now here it is. This is a play action pass. Guard out in front of him. Fakes the run. Now he lays the ball out for Delgado. Let him adjust to the ball. And what a great catch right there. Defender right there with him too.
42-yard reception.
Here you see Peterson. Now he gets his shoulder square. This is good mechanics. Throws the ball up out in front of the receiver. Throw it away from the defender and let the receiver adjust to it. And what a great catch.
1:18 left to play here in the third quarter. First and goal for the Aggies. They've been down here all day long, but they haven't scored every time. Peterson rolling to that side. Peterson runs out of bounds at the 4-yard line. Albert ran him out. So it'll be second and goal from the 4.
Well, by rolling out, running the ball, it puts a tremendous amount of pressure on the defense on that side of the field. But it also cuts the field in half. And if you cover the people on that side of the field, it's extremely difficult for him to stop, throw the ball back across the field. So in a way, that rollout does limit you, although it puts pressure on the corners.
So the clock stops now with 1:05 left to play here in the third quarter. Plenty of time to play in this one. 27 all is our score. Second down goal from the 4. Is he in? No, he is not in. Brian Carter down to the 1-yard line. With those muddy jerseys, we have to hesitate each time on a ball carrier. And Brian Carter inside the 1-yard line. Brought down by that man again, Louis Sorrentino. It'll be third and goal from the 1-yard line.
Well, just as the play action passes are set up by runs, the runs are sometimes set up by play action. That time, a little quick trap over the middle almost got him in the end zone.
Third and goal. Bispo and Carter. And it's Carter. Touchdown, Aggies. And the top-ranked Aggies take the lead again on a pitch play to Brian Carter.
Well, the big play to Delgado got him down here. Here it is, power football, pull out. Bispo leading the blocking. Toss out of the eye, and he runs in the end zone.
So Eddie Loretto now to try the extra point to give the Aggies a 7-point lead. High-scoring affair from Hughes Stadium on a wet afternoon in November. Out of Delgado's hold, it is good. And the score with 23 seconds left to play here in the third quarter. The UC Davis Aggies lead the Sac State Hornets 34-27. But we've got so doggone much time left, anything could happen. We could end up with a score in the 50s here.
That's exactly right. The way this thing is going, I'll tell you, there's nobody leaving the stands either. I think they're all enjoying themselves. I mean, this stadium holds 28,000 people, and we've got to have a good 8,000 person crowd here sitting in the rain watching this, and it's a great football game.
It's cold out here. The temperature in probably the low 40s at best. The crowd very enthusiastic, and Schubert now will kick off. Dan Hubert, excuse me.
Well, a good run back here is going to be a key. Let's get some field position, is what these offensive players from Sac State are saying.
And this is Ferguson to the 25-yard line and no more.
Ferguson returns the ball to the 25-yard line. Be first down, Hornets.
5-play, 50-yard drive culminated on the run by Carter, giving the Aggies a 34-27 lead. This will probably be the final play of the third quarter. The passing game has started to escape the Hornets. The Aggies putting on more pressure with the blitz. Mike Wise doing a great job. Here he comes again. Here comes Wise, and he's got Knapp. Mike Wise. He's going to be an NFL draft choice, and he should be at 6'7" and 260.
Well, that's right. You know, he came in here, just a great big giant kid came into Davis this season, went up to camp and worked out with the 49ers, was one of their ball boys or security guards, and he liked what he saw. The coaches said he came back and worked hard, worked on his speed, and you saw a great athletic move there. A guy 6'8", 260, going around the guard, around the back, making the play before the quarterback can set up.
So it's the end of the third quarter, and the Aggies lead it by 7. KCRA's live coverage will continue. Aggies, their current 34-27 lead. Bryant Carter on the pitch sweep, and it's a 34-27 lead for the Hornets with the football. Second down and 19 after Mike Wise, number 90, working right over the center, made the big 9-yard sack. Wise coming hard again, but this time they worked the handoff inside to Rob Harrison, and he went right by Wise for the big gain across the 30 to the 32-yard line.
Well, one of the ways to combat a hard rush is pop a quick one right through the line of scrimmage into those secondary. Here you see it, nothing real fancy. He just picked his own hole, and Rob Harrison made a nice adjustment there, and he's a big man. There's not one guy that's going to bring him down.
68 yards on the day for Rob Harrison, 3rd and 3, 16-yard gain on the play. Knapp got to complete to Ferguson for the first down at the 40-yard line. So they go back to the short passing game, and Ferguson has the first down for the Hornets. Gary Woods right there in the coverage.
Well, Donald Hare comes out of the backfield and clears out, and you'll see 26 right there, and then Ferguson comes underneath, and that's a design play. Get the defender thinking about Donald Hare, throw the ball underneath for the first down.
1st and 10, Hornets at their own 40-yard line. Here's Hare, bouncing out to the outside, and the Aggies wrap him up at about the 45-yard line after a gain of 5.
Well, as I mentioned, just a great adjustment by a good athlete. A good offensive back is going to turn these 2-yard losses where he gets hit in the backfield into 3-yard gains, and that's what wins football games. That man right there is not enjoying himself right now. Besides being cold, he's behind in this football game.
He's seen worse years, though. 2nd down and 5. 13:25 left to play in this one. Aggies show blitz. Here's Harrison, and Harrison has got the first down across midfield into Aggie territory at the 48-yard line. Mike Wise helping out with the tackle.
Well, here's the same play again. They let him option off the nose man. The defensive guy, the nose tackle, playing right over center. They let the blocker take him wherever he can. The back's going to option off of him. And Rob Harrison is a converted tailback, a good running back.
So it's 1st and 10 now for the Hornets in Aggie territory. And again, they go to the fullback, Harrison. Harrison breaking a tackle across the 30, across the 25 before he's run out of bounds.
Well, the horses are coming to the forefront right now. The offensive linemen of the Hornets a little upset with the way things have been going, and Chris Wise making a fool out of them. They're just blowing them back right now, screening them off, and letting Harrison do his thing in the secondary. He almost breaks this ball.
He sure did. He broke a tackle of Gary Woods, and Brad Barton finally wrapped him up, knocked him out of bounds at the 25-yard line. 1st and 10 Hornets. A chance to tie this ball game up. They trail it by a touchdown at 34-27. Goes to Harrison again. Harrison. Always dangerous because he may do that pitch again to Ferguson that worked for 77 yards early in the ball game. You got to rack this guy up with everything you've got. So across the 20, they're down to the 19-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Harrison over the century mark, 108 yards on 10 carries. A man who came out of nowhere. Back up to Mark Schutz, a converted tailback, got the position when Schutz was injured. 2nd down 4. Fumble on the play. And guess who fell on it? Rob Harrison. But Knapp just never received that one.
That was a snap from center to quarterback. In the exchange, he never really got it in his hands. And because of the slippery conditions, the ball popped all the way out to the outside where Harrison fell on it. That brings down a 3rd and long, which is a critical situation now.
3rd and 9, and boy, what a difference. Ken Gardner is the center. You take that snap for granted so much of the time. 3rd down 9. Mario Bobino split to this side. Ferguson to the far side. Knapp gonna go to Ferguson! He dropped it in the end zone on a perfect pass, but he was hit just as the ball got there.
Well, the free safety came over, knocked this ball loose, but Ferguson had this ball right on the money. I'll tell you, Greg Knapp made it just one great throw on a little fade pattern. Now, the fade pattern, the wide receiver makes a little move to the outside and goes right up the sideline. You see him right here. He's got the defender beat, but here comes the free safety, arrives right as the ball does, knocks the ball away.
That was Denny Raymond. He's the man who's substituting for Larry Weir. Weir, of course, who suffered ligament damage.
Excellent football play.
So the Hornets will take a timeout with 11:27 left. KCRA's live coverage of the 1985 Causeway Classic will continue. Don't go away. Fourth down and 9 yards to go. And the Sac State Hornets are showing field goal, but they have faked from this position. Klinkhammer is the holder. 41-yard field goal attempt. Out of the hold of Klinkhammer, De Silva will try it from the right hash mark. And it's long enough. Will it get there? Yes! A 41-yard field goal by De Silva.
And you know that the thing was going to be good the way this offense has been rolling up and down the field. I'll tell you, here we go.
Let's take a look at Bob Mattos. What does he see? I knew it was good.
Never a doubt, never a doubt. Well, you know, it's amazing. The kicker comes on and misses a field goal. Of course, there's a lot of factors involved, but he misses an extra point and then comes back and kicks a 41-yard field goal. So it's tough to explain. That's what makes football great. Never know. Always unpredictable.
So our score now 34-30. With the rain coming down and a big Pacific storm set to hit us even harder tonight. Armin Anderson, Wayne Atkins, back deep for the UC Davis Aggies. And De Silva, who just got 3 points for the Sac State Hornets. What a football game it's been. All the blowouts over the years, and this one going down right to the wire. 11:27 left. Short kick again. Anderson at the 15 on the dead run. He's dangerous. Anderson spinning across the 35 to the 39-yard line.
Do you get the impression this guy likes to run kicks back?
You know he does.
Christmas, I'll tell you, on a dead run, he takes a one-hop kickoff, and he's just sprinting for the sidelines. So you can obviously see what he likes to do.
I tell you, Armin Anderson, I hope the guy gets a chance to play in the Canadian Football League. You know, they don't allow the fair catch up there, and the punting game is so important. I hope he gets a chance to play up there because he's perfect for it.
That's a good, valid point.
34-30 is your score. The Aggies with a 4-point lead. They have the football, 1st and 10. And the handoff will go to Mark Ford in there at tailback. Those muddied up jerseys are tough to read, and Mark Albert putting a good hit on him after a gain of about 7 or 8 yards. Give him 7 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 3 up at about the 47-yard line.
Well, the offensive line of the Aggies are doing a good job right now in the running game. They admittedly are a finesse team. They're not a real power football team. They've run a lot of traps, a lot of influence. They use a lot of positioning blocks, and right now they're doing a real good job of it.
Ford with 80 yards, and he'll get the football just barely as he runs into Peterson. Louis Sorrentino making the stop, but I think there was a mix-up on that play. A little bit of slipping and sliding before they got the play off.
Well, that's right. I think the mud may have had as much to do with anything.
There's Mike Wise.
Speaking of somebody that likes what he does, there's a guy that definitely enjoys spending time in the opponent's backfield. And so far, he's done a heck of a job with it.
3rd down and 4. Big play both ways. Peterson will pitch it to Ford. Ford's got the 1st down and more. Across the 45-yard line and down to the 43 of the Hornets.
Well, Mark Ford got some real nice blocks out there by the wideouts, the wide receivers on that side. Now, they may be in this position, just as quick toss out of the eye. You see 81 out there getting a good block. On who else is that?
Mike Wessel.
And Wessel's out there, too. Just an excellent job.
Boy, the Aggies run those players in and out. That was one comment that Matto said. Boy, you run in with a 2nd stringer, a 3rd stringer, and you don't lose anything. The Aggies with such depth. 9:40 and counting down in this one. The Aggies protecting a 4-point lead. They'd like to make it bigger. Handoff again. Again, it is Ford. Ford to the 30, to the 25, and knocked out of bounds at the 20-yard line. So they're staying on the ground in this one, and Ford picking up big chunks of yardage, and Lorenzo Lynch knocks him out of bounds.
Well, what a great run Mark Ford makes here. Again, this out of the eye. Straight handoff. He gets through the hole. Now he's in the secondary. He's got the linebackers in the secondary to worry about. Sprints for the outside, the sidelines, before he gets knocked out of bounds. Good job at the point of attack, though. The blocking has been excellent. Bisbo has been an excellent lead blocker.
15 carries, 114 yards. Another back goes over the century mark in this one. 1st and 10. Peterson rolls to this side. He's in trouble. Jackson with a chance at him, and he misses him. Intended for Bispo. Intercepted by Lynch. Lorenzo Lynch on the interception at the 7-yard line.
Well, here's one I think Chris Peterson wants back. He threw one in the first half that I think he didn't want to throw, and here's another one. This ball's underthrown. He gets outside the wide receiver, outside the corner on his side. And here's what Mr. Soker thinks of the whole thing.
He says, throw it away. Boy, you like to read the lips, and didn't like that one. That tells you a little bit about the emotions that these coaches feel. With 9:19 left, the Hornets dodging the bullet. They trail it 34-30. Back at their own 7-yard line, Harrison bouncing outside across the 15 up to the 20-yard line. Wow, what a game for Rob Harrison. John Shorey knocking him out of bounds, one of the backup middle linebackers.
Well, it's amazing how the twists and turns of a football season can bring things up. Rob Harrison, here he is doing his thing. Straight handoff, getting outside, staying in bounds, keeps those feet moving. Sign of a good back.
121 yards for Harrison. First and 10 Hornets now at the 20-yard line. This is Hare dancing his way forward to the 25. Donald Hare on the carry. Hare and Harrison have combined for well over 200 yards on the ground. Look at that, 121, 127 for Hare. So 248 yards. And that's the kind of day it is. The raindrops on the track here at Hughes Stadium. 8:20 left. 2nd and 5. Harrison breaking tackles up to about the 28-yard line. It'll be short of the first down by about 2. So let's see what Matos calls on his sideline and Soker and his defensive staff call.
Well, Harrison, I think he's running so well down here. He's running so well down here that they don't. He doesn't fumble much. They don't want to make any mistakes.
Big play. Lights are on here at Hughes Stadium. 3rd down and 2. Long count. Harrison has the first down for the Hornets across the 30 up to the 33-yard line. Good blocking up front by the Sac State offensive line. Greg Robinson, Clancy Barone, Ken Gardner, Mike Black, and John Giesick.
Well, they're going out after it again. This is power football, straight ahead blocking. And look at that hole open up. Harrison pops through, gets the first down.
Clock down to 7:15 left. The Hornets trailing it by 4 at 34-30. First and 10 Hornets. Inside again, it will go to Harrison, picking up the chunks of yardage across the 35 to the 36-yard line.
You know, as I started to mention earlier, Bob, Mark Schutz, they lose the guy, their leading ground gainer, fullback last year. Harrison's the starting tailback earlier in the year. It turns out they get a 1,000-yard rusher out of Donald Hare, who's a substitute. They switch Harrison to fullback for Mark Schutz, and he turns out to be a real find at fullback. So it's strange how the twists and turns go in this game.
Gain of 3 for Harrison. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Knapp wants to throw. He's got Klickhammer. Nice diving catch, and the penalty marker goes down as Knapp goes down. So we might have a late hit put on Greg Knapp. Grabbing the face mask is the call.
You see it here, a straight drop back. I'm not sure we can see the penalty. Obviously, it was one of the offensive linemen must have had a hold of the face mask of a defender, a non-rushing lineman.
Boy, that really hurts the Hornets.
Yeah, that's a critical penalty again. But you know, this has been a remarkable game, except for a few punts where
Face mask, offense.
Bob Matos did not like the call at all. Well, you certainly don't see that very often.
No, you don't. That's exactly right. And that's that's a big penalty. That's 15 yards and puts them back in their own territory. 2nd down and about 22.
2nd down, 22. The ball way back there between the 20 and 21-yard line. See if they go to the air now with 6:08 left. No, they do not. Instead, they run it to Bobino, who fumbles the football. But the Hornets recover back at the 7-yard line.
Well, a little earlier, they ran this crossing action and faked the reverse to Bobino. This time, they gave the ball to Bobino. And what a fine defensive play on the outside that time.
Jim Dowdy, right side linebacker. They run so many linebackers at you. Jim Dowdy, a 4th-string linebacker, making the big hit on Bobino, stripped him of the football. So the Hornets now 3rd and 36. This is where the drive started, way back at the 7-yard line. Clock now says 5:24, and the Hornets trail it by 4. Handoff will go to Harrison, and we've got a penalty marker down. Flag on the field. If it's against the Hornets, you would imagine that the Aggies would decline. But it might go the other way.
I think it's offside against the Aggies. I think Big Mike Wise just lined up across the ball. Yeah, from where I was, it looked like he was offside, and apparently was. He was lined up on the nose, angled in at the center, and it just looked like he lined up offside.
5-yard mark off at that situation isn't going to hurt you, though. It makes it third and
Offside,
31.
defense, still third down.
So you heard the call right there. And Mike Wise, when you're so doggone big, it's probably tough to stay on your side of the football.
Probably tough to stay on your side of the state.
Third and 31. Well, what do you call? Let's see what the Hornets do. Knapp. Incomplete pass. He just threw it away. Both Ferguson and Bobino were breaking free, and I think Mario Bobino thought that he had the pass here on the near sidelines, but Knapp never looked his way.
Well, I think also the defender came off of him, Bob, as the ball was thrown out of bounds. He broke on the ball. So.
Here's a look at Soker. Okay, turns to his troops now, gets the offense in gear. 4:57 left. 4th down and 31. De Silva will punt out of his own end zone now. Armin Anderson, so dangerous at midfield. Low snap. De Silva. Anderson tackled immediately. I don't believe this guy. 4:51 left to play in this one. KCRA's live coverage of the 1985 Causeway Classic will continue. And it's raining so much harder. 4:51 left to play. 34-30 is the score. The UC Davis Aggies, top ranked, wanting to host the first playoff game, will hand it inside to Carter. Carter across the 35 down to the 33-yard line. And the Hornets not only have to stop the Aggies quickly, they need to get the ball back in good field position. That's going to be a tough order.
What a tremendous job. You know, Big Ron Costa and Wagner, Hagnow, DeLeo, and Martin have done all day. They have just done a great job. The offensive linemen from the UC Davis. Great job all year, actually. Nick Alexander had nothing but fair things to say about his squad.
2nd down and 6. Fake the pitch. Here's Peterson. He'll throw it to Wayne Atkins at the 21-yard line. That's enough for a 1st down. Lorenzo Lynch knocked him out of bounds. Well, you bring up the name Nick Alexander. He's been around for a long time, 9 years. Take a look at this play. But Nick Alexander, the fine line coach, he's done so much for Jim Soker, will be moving on next year. He's going to become an assistant coach for the UCLA Bruins. So that's quite a step up for Nick.
Well, that's right. He's going to coach. I think he's going to coach our wide receivers. I think.
Yes, he is. Well, last year he had the backs. This year he has the line. He says he might be the smallest line coach in America. 1st and 10 with 4:06 left. Aggie football right near the 20-yard line. Peterson hands it off to Carter. Carter is stopped right there, may have lost a yard. Greg Dockweiler came in, stopped that play.
Well, Dockweiler is going to be a force in this conference to take care of the next few years, believe me. He has done an outstanding job. I mentioned earlier that the Davis coaches had all kinds of praise for the guy, and he has certainly lived up to that praise today. Just doing an outstanding job in the middle.
3:35 left to play now. 26 1st downs for Davis. Peterson 23 of 33 for 285 yards. He's thrown 2 interceptions. Handoff again. This is Carter again across the 10-yard line. And they'll mark his forward progress right there at the 10-yard line. Another Aggie 1st down.
Well, it just seems to me, you're going to see here out of the eye, you know, this sprint action and handing off to the tailback is something that with Chris Peterson at quarterback just adds to the potency of the offense at UC Davis.
And a good stop that time by Mark Albert. He just ripped the knees off of a little guy, Brian Carter. And when you're only 5'6" and you get your knees taken out, I guess you're only about 5'2". Under 3 minutes to play. 1st and 10. Pitch will go to Carter. Carter Tries it inside. Flag goes down in the backfield.
Just after Carter, the ball carrier, flags on the field. Penalty charge is Davis for holding.
A holding call will be assessed against the Aggies now. Matos has to worry about the clock. He needs to get the football back, and he needs to hold the Aggies to just a field goal.
2:51 left.
yeah.
The games do come back. Well, there you see the timeout situation, two for each team. But you know, college football, 2 minutes goes by an awful lot slower than it does in the professional ranks, simply because the clock is stopped after every first down. There was the holding call called by the referee. I didn't mean to talk through it. But with the first down gained by each in collegiate football, the clock is stopped. So that 2 minutes goes by awfully slow.
Ball back at the 20-yard line. 1st and 20 now. And here's Carter across the 10 down to the 5-yard line. Steele struggling for yardage. And he's finally ramshackled down there at the 5-yard line by Robert Holland. But it'll be 2nd down and 5. And I think they have to get to about the 1-inch line to get a first down.
Well, here you see it. Look at the blocking here. The guard pulls out, leads up through the hole. There's nobody there. I think Sac State might have been playing a little pass there, expecting the ball to be thrown, and had their upfield rush on.
Carter, 15 carries, 65 yards. 4 backs in this game have played very well. Ford, Carter, Hare, and Harrison. 3 of the 4 over the 100-yard mark. 2nd down and 5 from the 5. Peterson hands it off to Carter, and Carter is stopped for a loss of 1, I think. Greg Dockweiler leading the Hornet charge right there.
I think Sac State's looking to use some timeout here. They've got to stop the clock. It's under 2 minutes.
1:37 left. The Aggies leading it by 4. KCRA's live coverage will continue. Story, Davis leading Sac State 34-30. 1:37 left. 3rd down and 6. I think they have to reach the 1-inch line to get a first down. So essentially it's a 3rd and goal situation. Bob Matos in a tough situation. Peterson running all the way, and he's tackled by Sorrentino back at the 12-yard line. What a hit by Louis Sorrentino.
And immediately they take a timeout, but there's your big play guy again. Sorrentino all season long been doing it. And Peterson, you know, has escaped him all day on that side of the line of scrimmage. And this time he did not in one of the most crucial situations.
So we'll probably see Eddie Loretto, who's hit 2 of 3. With 1:27 left, and I believe that's their last timeout. So they've exhausted all their timeouts. And now you see if all those hours and hours you practice on the 2-minute drill work to your advantage. Of course, if they make the field goal, then it sets up the situation where you trail by a touchdown. If you make the touchdown, you go for 2, but we'll get to that story a little bit later on. We're thinking a little bit ahead of ourselves. I'm so doggone excited. What a ball game.
Bob,
1:27 left.
They could score 3 times in a minute 27. The way this game's going, I'm telling you. Doesn't mean a thing.
Eddie Loretto in there from the right hash mark. 29-yard field goal. Out of the hold of Delgado. And it is good, and so it's a 7-point ball game. The Aggies lead the Hornets 37-30. What a finish that sets up. 1:24 left.
You know,
and Hubert will now kick off. Big Dan Hubert going to kick off. And the Hornets, with no timeouts left, trail it by 7. Donald Hare, the big play man back there, along with James Ferguson with that great speed. What a finish we should have.
Well, Bob, you know what I started to say when we broke away? 67 points in this game, and this is the #1 team in their conference and the #2 team in defense playing each other. You never would have thought it.
Hubert's kick will go to the freshman. It's Donald Hare at the 7-yard line. He's back to the 15, to the 20, to the 23-yard line. He's stopped right there. It would take us probably months to recap all the scoring, so I will just say that the Aggies led it at halftime 17-14. The Hornets did lead in this ball game after a great fumble, or I should say a pitch play after it looked like Harrison was down. He pitched it back to Ferguson, and Ferguson went all the way for the score. But the Aggies have rallied. They lead it 37-30 with 1:19 left. We'll keep you apprised of the clock situation. 1st and 10. They start the drive at the 23-yard line. 77 yards to go. Greg Knapp. He's got Harrison across the 30. He's got the first down. Harrison should have gone out of bounds. Instead, he cut up field, and he got the good yardage. Clock will stop while they move the chains.
Again, that's a situation where he doesn't have to go out of bounds because the clock does stop because he got the first down, Bob.
But it's restarted again as soon as they mark it down. Knapp throws the ball out of bounds immediately on the second play. 1:03 left.
Well, Greg Knapp has certainly shown a lot of poise today. I'll tell you, from the first game where he got a little shell shock through 5 interceptions against the University of Pacific down in Stockton. And, it's tough to come back after that. Loses his starting job, gets the job back in the middle of the season, and ends up throwing for 11 touchdowns, 1,100 yards coming into this game. So he has really done an outstanding job.
11 of 23, 168 yards today. Greg Knapp, 2nd down and 10. He'll fire upfield. A Klinkhammer in and out of his hands and almost intercepted. Double covered on the play. I think that Denny Raymond had a chance when the ball was tipped up in the air. 3rd down and 10 now.
Here you'll see it here from ground level. Greg Knapp going straight back, getting a lot of pressure. Again, Mike Wise. Ball over the linebackers, but just a little too high for Klinkhammer to get. He had to throw that ball over the linebackers in the front of the defensive back.
And it continues to rain hard. 58 seconds left to play. Out of the shotgun now. 3rd down and 10. Good pressure. Pass incomplete, intended to Ferguson, but it was thrown a little bit too tall for James. Just 5'11", and that one's thrown just a little bit too high for it. Matt Devine on the coverage, helped out by Lance Badger.
Well, here's the situation, 4th and 10, there the ball game comes down. Here's Coach Bob Mattis reacting to the last play. Just a little bit too high.
I hope you can't read lips at home. 4th and 10, 54 seconds left. Out of the shotgun, this could be it. Knapp going to go to Ferguson. What a catch. He's got it for the first down at the 40-yard line. And the Hornets are still alive with 47 seconds left to play. They trail it by a touchdown. As soon as they move up the chains, they get the ball set. The clock will start yet again.
Out of the shotgun, Ferguson on a post pattern, goes high to get this ball, gets his feet cut out from him just as he hits the ground. What a great catch he's made today. One of a bunch. And here you see Bob Mattis.
Mike Morris making the big hit on Ferguson, but only after he makes the first down. This ball knocked out of bounds. Ferguson can't make a brilliant reception this time. 39 seconds left. It'll be 2nd down and 10 yards to go. John Costello on the coverage.
Well, that quick out is one that's not really intended to be caught. If the receiver's there and he can get the ball to him, get it out of bounds, fine. If not, throw it high enough that gets out of bounds and stops the clock. Now they got time to regroup, find out what they're going to do in the next 2 plays. They'll call 2 plays in the huddle or call a play at the line of scrimmage.
And they got their speed people out there. Ferguson on the far side, Bobino on the near side. 2nd down, 10 out of the shotgun. Knapp slips a little bit, fires to Ferguson. He caught the football. No, he caught it out of bounds. He came down out of bounds. What a catch by James Ferguson, but he apparently did not get that foot down.
Well, he's being double covered now. He's got a guy running underneath. You'll see him there. Now the safety comes over to help out. Makes a great play, but does not get that 1 foot down in bounds. That's a good call by the officials.
With 33 seconds left, Knapp looking to Ferguson. Denny Raymond was on the coverage that last time. 3rd down and 10 from the 40-yard line. Bobino and Ferguson to this side. Knapp dumps it off to Harrison. Harrison will not get the first down. The clock's running. The clock is running with 24 seconds, with 22 seconds, with 20 seconds, with 18 seconds. Fourth down, 16 seconds, 15, 14 seconds, 12 seconds, 11. Knapp has to complete the pass for the first down. He throws the football, and that will do it with 5 seconds left. The clock will stop when the ball slipped out of the hands of Knapp.
Greg Knapp.
The UC Davis Aggies will win.
Greg Knapp's arm was headed forward. Therefore, it's an incompleted pass. Cannot recover a fumble, but it was fourth down. UC Davis will take possession. You'll see it here. Now, as he rolls out to his right, he has to complete this pass for a first down or the game's over. And there you see it.
But what a tremendous effort by the Sac State Hornets. With 5 seconds left, the UC Davis Aggies will pick up the victory. They will retain probably their #1 ranking. They will probably host the playoff game.
What a tremendous football game played by 2 excellent football teams. I'll tell you, there wasn't a lot of penalties. It's just a super game. It was a physical contest. Nobody out there, regardless of what color jersey they're in, has anything to be ashamed of. What a tremendous football game.
What a great ball game. The UC Davis Aggies win 37-30. They stopped the Hornets' comeback at the end of the ball game. Well, Bob Mattos said to have a complete season, he had to beat the Aggies, but he had a great season this year. They finished with 8 victories. All of their losses were very tough ones, and this was one of the best ball games they played all year.
Well, there's no question about that, and like I say, nobody out there has anything to be ashamed about.
We'll be back to wrap it up and maybe even hear from a couple of those coaches. We'll be back after this. Final score here from Rainy Hughes Stadium, UC Davis over Sacramento State, 37-30. And we have Bob Mattos down on the field. Coach, your team played a great game. Your reaction?
Well, it was one of those games where it was anybody's game and came right down to it. And we just came out a little bit short. And congratulate the Aggies. They're a fine football team with a lot of depth and very well coached. And they're just an awesome machine. And I think our kids played very well. They have nothing to be ashamed of, and I'm proud of their performance today.
Bob, this is Skip Vanderbilt. I noticed you did some adjusting on defense, took away some of the short games, and Peterson was forced to run with the ball more, but that did create a problem with him running the football.
Well, I think he's the difference in their offense, basically. You know, he creates a lot of problems for you, and you can't take everything away, and they certainly created some problems for us, but we created some problems for them, too, so it was just kind of a seesaw battle all the way, and it was a great football game, and it's unfortunate that we came up a little bit short. Where credit's due, they played a very good game themselves. I knew it was going to be a real close one. We've had all close games this year. Our kids refused to quit and kept coming back, and I feel real excited that we've got a great future here at Sac State with our program.
Absolutely. Bob Mattos, congratulations on a great season and good luck in the future. Your club played a great game. Thank you very much for dropping by, and we're going to switch the headsets down on the field now to Jim Soker, the winning coach in this one, and the winning coach for the 15th season in a row. The Sacramento State Hornets lose to the UC Davis Aggies by a score of 37-30. Jim Soker, you're down on the sidelines. Your reaction to this 7-point victory?
Well, nothing but elation. I think this is one of the great UC Davis Sac games of all time. I hope that people on TV enjoyed it, and I give Bob Mattos and the Sac State team a lot of credit. They played a super game today, and we're just very happy to be where we are right now.
Coach Soker, this is Skip Vanderbilt. You made some real adjustments as far as Chris Peterson was concerned. Him scrambling really created some problems for the Sac State defense, and physically, I think you wore them out with him.
Well, I think you're right. Chris is in great shape. You know, he's a fine athlete, and his ability to scramble around has been great for us all year. I think the great catch by Rob Delgado was a big factor in the game, and the play of Chris Mandeville and the blocking of our offensive line. We ran the ball. If we couldn't run the ball, we were going to be in big trouble, and we were able to run it, and Bryant Carter and Mark Ford, I think, had super games, and our defense came through when we needed them and a great all-around effort. We're very, very happy.
Jim, this is Bob Hogue. I wanted to say with Larry Weir injured, the fact that your backups in your sentimental